Hi everyone, this video is on exercise 14a of pure 1, which is on exponentials and logs. So in this question, we want to draw an accurate graph of y is equal to 1.7 to the power of x for x, which is between -4 and 4. So any function that is of the form, so f of x is equal to a to the power of x, then this is called an exponential function. And in this case, we have 1.7 to the power of x. So normally in the exam, we won't have questions of drawing an accurate graph. It's more like a sketches, but in this case, just an opportunity to just learn how these graphs work basically. So we can first just use a table to find some of the values for x and y. So we have -4, -3, and all we need to do is obviously substituting each of these x value into the equation and find the corresponding y value. Right, so these are the y values or the y coordinates, and now we just need to plot these points, and that gives us the graph basically. So obviously knowing the general form of these types of graph is going to be very helpful. So in general, if a is positive, then it's going to look like this. So basically you have an asymptote at the x-axis, and it gradually there is a curve that just goes gradually like this, and then suddenly just explodes and increases at a very fast rate. But we will get into those details in the next question. So anyway, in this case, we just want to plot these points. So we need the axis. There is x, y, and now I'm going to plot the points. Right, so these are the points, and as you can see, this is exactly the same form. It follows the general form, and the idea is that on the positive side of the x-axis, the higher the value of x, then the bigger the increase, whereas in the x-axis, where it's negative, then the curve approaches 0. It doesn't hit 0 exactly, but it approaches 0, and as you can see here, as the value of x gets more and more negative, then the y coordinate gets smaller and smaller, and it approaches 0. So if we just match this, then it's going to be something like this. Now in part B, we want to use the graph to solve the equation 1.7 to the power of x is equal to 4. So this is a very common question that sometimes we want to solve equations graphically. And so we have 1.7 to the power of x is equal to 4. So all it means is that, because we want to solve this graphically, obviously, we've already sketched the graph of y is equal to 1.7 to the power of x. Now we need to also sketch the graph of y is equal to 4, which is very simple. It's just a horizontal line. So let's do this with blue. So it's simply this line. This is the line y is equal to 4, and this one is y is equal to 1.7 to the power of x. So all we need to do is just look at the point of intersection, and here obviously my graph isn't very accurate, so because here looks like the answer is exactly equal to 3, but actually my line isn't very accurate. So let's try again. I think this one is better. So it roughly looks like something like maybe 2.8 or something like that. So I think it's approximately equal to the value of x is approximately equal to 2 let's say 7 for the final answer.